This is Solo P1. Welcome. It's been a long time since we were supposed to do this a week ago. But we've had a lot on with football, with the season finishing. We had the finale, we had the Champions League yesterday. And yeah, this is my desk, my new desk. We're going to have Toto on the monitor. So we're going to bring in Toto. Toto Ama! How's it going, bro? How's it going?
Yeah, man, it's going good. Going good.
What have you been up to, man?
Really, we've just been looking at the football news, signings. Of course, it's race week this week. Is that Canada? Is that Canada?
Yeah, go Canada.
Yeah, it's at Canada. One of my favorite tracks on this.
Yeah, it is.
Because
yeah,
it's power track. It's like good corners, fast corners. The only down for the track I think is that hairpin, but that also slows you down the hairpin. That's probably my least favorite track, least favorite corner. But the whole track is just good all around. So I can't wait for Canada this week.
Yeah, what I was thinking, if you've just joined us, if you've watched us on the previous Flaming Tarmacs, the background is slightly different, but this week we're changing because I've got another computer. You see, I'm running a new computer, and we're trying to get things up to scratch. We're getting the old computer back. It's going to get fixed, but we're just running two computers, so everything's a bit different at the moment. That's why we haven't got our proper thumbnail on there. When you see us in our overalls, our animation thumbnails, they're not there at the moment, but they'll be there next week because the computer's going to be on its way. And yeah, so we just threw this background up. This is what used to be behind me. I've got myself a new desk. You like my new desk, Toto? Got my new desk.
Yeah,
You're on the monitor now. You're on the monitor. So at least now I can look at the monitor and I can see you, so it doesn't look like I'm looking at nobody. So we've got Toto on the monitor. There you go, man. Got my laptop. Anyway, yeah. Before we get into the debrief, everybody knows we do football. So Man City winning that. We'll talk about that tomorrow in the previous video. But Man City winning the Champions League. It was expected after the destroyed Real Madrid. It was expected for Man City to win the league. I mean the Champions League. So they're now in the Champions League club. Shame about Arsenal, isn't it? But it is what it is. So today we're going to talk about the Spanish Grand Prix. This is the debrief. This is where basically the debrief is where we pick a team, maybe one or two, and we go through the stats and how better they could have done it, or we just go through the stats really. So this week we're going to be talking about Mercedes, because this was the track where it was going to happen. This is where they brought the upgrades. But listen, they brought the upgrades at Monaco, but you can't really test them at Monaco. Okay? Can't really test them at Monaco. So this was the track where we're going to see the true Mercedes speed. And to be fair, Toto, I think they've done good. What do you think?
Yeah, man. Matt's got the win, obviously. Two and three went to it. Well, second was Hamilton, and it was a really good race for the both of them. Because of course, they had controversy in qualifying where they both crashed and went wheel to wheel in that corner. They both crashed and messed the times up. But when I had 2 and 3, it seems like the car is actually going to be there because all that front wing and all them. To me, I think they still have a new concept for next season, but you can see the upgrade that they're adding for this season will get him second in the constructors, even challenging for first. Look, not necessarily challenging for first because the championship's almost over. Max has won the championship as far
of course
you see in the table, points ahead. Might as well giving him Canada or Silverstone. I think that's when they're going to give it him. But anyway, I think the Mercedes car.
Hopefully not Silverstone. Hopefully not Silverstone. No. Anyway.
Yeah, because look, Mercedes, yeah. they're going to win the race this season. It's inevitable. If they keep on performing like this, if the Red Bull has a bad race, or we can even challenge if we can challenge the Red Bulls this season, it's going to be a good comeback.
So, the only thing I can think of is what a lot of people are probably thinking as well is eventually when Red Bull know they've won the world title in constructors and in drivers, when they get to that point of the season, then they can back off and start concentrating on next year's car. Because obviously next year's car, they're concentrating on that now. They're working on that now, sorry. And maybe after Silverstone, like you said, maybe around about Silverstone, they're going to start thinking about next year's car, and that's where they're going to stop upgrading this car. This is where they're going to stop working on this car and just work on next year's car. And that's when Red Bull might have a little drop-off, and that's when I reckon Mercedes and maybe Aston Martin will start winning races. They won't be just have a Red Bull winning every single race. I think there's going to be some point of the season where where Red Bull will drop off this is where they'll stop the budget and they'll start working on next year's car. There's going to be a time of the season, and that's going to happen soon, or it's going to be soon, because they're way ahead of the pack. And I think after Silverstone, they'll think, right, we'll drop off now. We're going to start working on next year's car because they've got the budget now. It's not like they can come out and, they've got the budget. So I'm looking at this now. Mercedes, this is starting with Lewis Hamilton. Did you know that Lewis Hamilton was the only person this year to be within a tenth of Max Verstappen in the race? Did you know that?
I know, man, because look, in the qualifying, he did set the fastest sector, and in race, he did set a couple fastest sectors. Didn't he get fastest lap? Who got fastest lap?
Lewis.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He got fastest lap. He got fastest lap in that Mercedes, yeah, and that proves that he's class of a driver. That's what you get from an 8-time world champion. An 8-time world champion. That's what you get.
That's the one.
And that's how what 8-time world champion does.
Yeah.
Look, he's pushing 40, but he's driving like.
No, there's still a couple of years to go. He's not 40 yet. Don't put the years on him. 2 years to go.
No, but look,
I know.
He's driving like he's 25. He's like Ronaldo in football. His fitness.
Yeah.
He's still like a 25-year-old young. Just like with Hamilton. Them legends and world champions will all find a way. And Hamilton, Max was doing low 17s, and Hamilton was responding by doing high 17s.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Max was doing the low 17s, like you just said. I know what you just said. Max was doing the low 17s, and Lewis was doing doing the mid to high 17s. So he was kind of matching Max in certain sectors. He was matching him through the race. All Lewis needed is just a little bit more power, and he would have caught him. Obviously, they haven't got the power yet. They haven't worked out well. I know in Canada they've got that DRS system coming into Canada, which is going to enable them. You know how Red Bull get in the DRS zone and they can just shoot off fast. Mercedes have worked that out, how to get that on the car, and that new DRS system is coming in Canada. So that's something I'm really looking forward to. But Lewis Hamilton within a tenth of Max Verstappen, the only driver this year to get him within a tenth of Max Verstappen, that is happy days. But again, the commentator is not really talking about it, but we know how they are. So, Lewis Hamilton's car was responding it's like every input of the car. He was steering Mercedes. It blew away Ferrari. They blew away Aston Martin. And Lewis was in harmony with his car. It was like the old Lewis. It was like the 2020 Lewis, the 2018 Lewis, 2017 Lewis, the karting Lewis, the go-kart. Oh, yeah, talking about go-karting. There's going to be a link in the description below. This will fund Toto Hammer's karting journey. He's in the championship, but he needs a little help with funding. I've already put some money in. I've funded some of it, and if you want, you're not obligated to do it, but it's there anyway. So it was a bit of a shame. I'm not going to talk about McLaren, but this kind of goes into Lewis Hamilton's race. At the beginning of the race, when Lando Norris bumped into Lewis Hamilton's car, I thought he would have damaged the back of his car. You know, the back of his car. I thought his exhaust was damaged because when he hit him,
but the thing with the rear is the strongest part of the car.
Yeah.
And if Lando would have come on the side of him and hit one of his side pods
Yeah.
or give him a little bit of floor damage, I think there was one race last year or the season after where Red Bull, Verstappen had a little bit of damage on the car, and then he started to lose performance more into the race. And I thought that was going to happen to Hamilton, but when Lando got the damage, I didn't see no part flaw of Hamilton's car. It was fine because he hit his rear. And the rear barely brakes. It's the strongest part of your car.
Yeah.
The only vulnerable part is usually the front wing, the side pods, The floor damage can easily be damaged. That's when you need to have a certain ride height to like keep the floor from scraping off the floor from the track. And look, floor most important of the car, provides balance, side pods as well. Front wings, rear wing gives you aerodynamics.
Yeah.
But the rear wing is where people go into there the most. It's where people might crash into the back of you. People might brake test you. At the end of the day, you say for a driver and someone's behind you, you're behind their rear wing, and that the rear wing is what's more exposed.
Yeah.
The front wing, if you go into someone, say if someone slips on the track, the front wing might go into the
sensitive
the
front wing. You just got to touch it and it's off.
It's like them parts in an F1 car are worth so much. Some are worth over $1 million just for a small part in the car.
I know.
So like,
it's ridiculous.
You know, if the car crashes, it's gonna be an all-nighter for the engineers. Depends what the crash is. If the crash out the internal combustion, if it's the gearbox problem, they have to open up the car, get the gearbox in. It's a hard job for the engineers. You know that's what they get the money for. The engineers have so much money because they're putting all that work onto the car.
And they don't get paid enough to say. I was reading some article the other day, some engineer article that they don't even get paid enough. Yeah, they don't get paid enough for what they do. But a lot of them go into tech as well.
Like all the F1 drivers do, drive the car, and the engineers actually do the hard work and make the car quicker.
So I'm looking at the strategies. Red Bull went for the medium, hard, and soft. Mercedes went for the soft, medium, soft. What do you think was the best strategy? I think Mercedes had the best strategy. Soft, medium, soft. What do you think?
Yeah, you could say that.
You could say that when you're attacking any. If you, obviously Red Bull was in front, so they can do the medium, hard, soft because Red Bull are in front. But obviously Mercedes was on attack. That was on attack mode all the way through.
The problem with the Mercedes one, you have to pick like more early. But Red Bull, the Mercedes is like a faster strategy, like tire wise. But Red Bull can like do a medium, then do a long hard stint and whack on the softs at the end.
Yeah, but there was an attack mode. That's what they're gonna do. But like I said at the beginning of this video, I think at the beginning of this video, there's gonna be a time where Red Bull will drop off because they've got to concentrate on next year's car. And when they do drop off, that's when Mercedes and probably Ferrari. No, not Ferrari. I ain't got faith in Ferrari anymore. That's when Aston Martin will probably step up then and try and get a race win, a couple of race wins. He'll be sharing the race win, but at the moment now, I think Mercedes are in front of Ferrari. They're in front of Aston Martin, and it's just obvious the way it is. They're in front now. Their upgrade has worked, and for Lewis Hamilton, to be within a tenth of Max Verstappen for the entire race, and that's the only person that's coming in a tenth of Max Verstappen and get the fastest lap at the end towards it was an amazing feat by Mercedes. For the car that Lewis Hamilton's got to get the fastest lap and come within a tenth of Max Verstappen for the entire race consistently, because like we said before, Max Verstappen was doing low 17s and Lewis was doing mid to high 17s for the entire race. And that is hats off to Sir Lewis Hamilton, and this is why he's the best driver on the F1 calendar today. And there's no argument, and that's why he's an 8-time world champion. So that's it. That's the end of the debrief. Episode 7. I think it's episode 7. Episode 7 of the debrief. Is it episode 7? Yeah, episode 7, Spain. So the next one, yeah, I can see it on here. So the next one's
can't
going
wait
to
for Canada, man.
the next one is going to be in Canada, and that's this week. We're still
Yeah.
going to be doing the live qualifying, the practice 1, practice 2, and practice 3 live watch-alongs on this channel. Hopefully, I'll get my other computer back that because that runs all the streams. So that'll be 3 streams on Thursday. It will be on Friday. It will be practice 1 and 2 watch-along. Practice 3 watch-along will be on the Saturday, and qualifying watch-along will be on the Saturday evening, and then Sunday will be the race watch-along. Plus, we'll do the race watch-alongs. And we'll do the race. We're going to do the race live reaction and qualifying live reaction as well. Plus a debrief on a Monday. Got someone in the chat. Canada will show where they are. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's one of Lewis's 07. Big up 07. He just said Canada will show where they are. Lewis is very good at that circuit. Yeah, it's one of his favourite tracks. I think he's won it more times than anybody. His diamond tracks are Hungary, Canada, Silverstone, US. There is 4, and Silverstone, yeah. That's Silverstone, US, Canada, Hungary. There is 4 diamond tracks. And I think he's got another one, but I just can't remember. I think there's another diamond track he's got as well. But they're his favourite tracks.
Spa one.
Huh?
And Spa one as well.
No. He's won Spa a couple of times, but not like he's won them. He's won Canada about 7, 8 times. He's won Hungary about 7, 8 times. He's won Silverstone about 8 times, and the US one he's won that about 7 times as well. So he's good. There is 4 main ones. I think there's another one, but I can't remember. But Hungary's one of them. Hungary's one of them. Canada's one of them. The USA is one of them, and Hungary. I said Hungary, didn't I? Did I say Hungary? So it's Hungary, Hungary, Silverstone, Canada, and the USA one. So that's it, man. That's me rambling on. Thanks for 5 watching. Hit the like, subscribe. We'll be back this week for some more football stuff as well. This is the end of the video. See, we've got some music on here to usher us out. That's the end of the video, man. So thanks for the viewership. Just hit that like, and we also do football as well. Remember the link for TOTO Hammer's Karting Adventure is below. Hit that link and that will open up a payment thing if you want to. It's there if you want. It's just because he's in the championship in karting, and it's just a helping funding. I've put some in. Some other subscribers have put some in. It's all there. The link's there. Thanks guys for watching. Big up 07.
Yeah, man, that'd be really appreciated.
Big up. Bye bye guys. Bye.